Joshua, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell me about your vision.
My vision. So I work as a fractional COO because I like helping small business owners. I like the project work. I like that there are people at different seasons of their life that need a guide for a short period of time to help them deal with their challenges. And then once it's done, not necessarily need that person beyond that. I mean, they can keep going if they want, but I like the practice of meeting people, solving their problems, getting them going. And the big reason for that was I used to be the director of economic development for a local chamber back when I had a W 2 job. And I really enjoyed stepping into businesses that needed help and they were having all kinds of problems. And to see that sigh of relief when you're like, hey, listen, I'm here to support and help you. Let me just get you the resources or connections you need. Um, it just, I mean, it helps those business owners significantly. And I do have an economics background and understanding the role that small businesses play in our community. I think we need to do more efforts to support and help those members of our community that provide goods, services, jobs, money, resources. Uh, we need to take care of them and help them. And there's just, it's getting harder. Taxes are going up, like regulations are going up, competition's going up. And so I want to do my part to help preserve small businesses as community members so we can have small, resilient communities that um, are almost kind of self sufficient or sustainable. So
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Tell me
thanks.
more. Why small business owners? And I think you kind of answered that, but I would love to hear more on all your thoughts on that. And how do you get started on this path from being a W-2 employee in the Chamber of Commerce, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
and to being on in front of a show and going about being a fractional CEO?
Yeah. Well, uh, for small businesses, I think it's something like 90% of businesses are small businesses. They employ, I think, like 60% of the workforce. I got to go through the stats again. But it's a significant number. It's actually bigger than what most people think because they think like large corporations. But yes, they have a lot of people on their staff, but in aggregate, small businesses make up a bigger percentage. And so, and they also keep the dollars local. I mean, the guy that's down the street that has that brick and mortar, when he sells his goods and services, that money goes into his account and he's grocery shopping in the area, and so that dollar stays around. It's an economic multiplier. So understanding the mechanisms of that and the importance of that, that's why I'm passionate for it. um, and how I got into this. Yeah, when I was working for the chamber, I had the chance to be a COO of a $10 million in revenue manufacturing facility. I was supposed to walk into the job. This was February of 2020. Not a great time for a career transition. So they basically told me like, "Hey, we're gonna put this on hold and we'll get back to you." So unfortunately, my family likes to eat and they like to have a roof over their head. So I had to figure out how to make money. And I used to be an entrepreneur before, and so I saw everybody going online. I built an SEO audit business to help audit people's websites and tell them exactly what they need to do to fix their websites. I figured I would just give them all the information, no secrecy, no dark magic. Just here's what you need to do. Here's the data and information. Here's the best practices. That took off really quick, so got to six figures in 18 months. And a buddy of mine that was a fractional CFO for a regional CPA firm caught up with me, and he said, "Hey, Joshua, with what you did with your business and what you did at the chamber, um, you should look at becoming a fractional COO and stepping in and helping people." I thought, okay, I did it at the chamber kind of a little bit, so let's do it. So I put a shingle up and started picking up clients right away, and um, just been going full tilt since I put myself out there. Because believe it or not, there's not a lot of operations people out there trying to hawk their services. There seems to be a lot of marketers and
Yeah.
salespeople, but operations is not one of those. Like, oh yeah, that's what I need. Like, oh yeah, that's where I want to go with it. So it's been interesting to be in the marketplace and see the overall positive response to that.
Joshua, it's very interesting that you mentioned that. I would say infrastructure is probably one of the most undervalued or overlooked aspect of any business, and most people don't want to work in it, build it, or don't even know what's to do about it. Like, I have no idea. They think marketing fixes their business, and they ignore this big infrastructure issue out there that will help them grow their own business, and they have no idea why.
I mean, the best analogy for it is it's a leaky bucket, you
Yeah,
know? And they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna keep adding water." Yeah, sure, you can do that, or you can fix the bucket.
yeah.
So,
Wow. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned something that's awesome.
yeah.
So tell me more, like the transition from being um, the SEO audit person, right, to now the fractional CEO. What was that like? And I think there's also a lot of lessons you probably learned in the 18 months you were um, getting your business going as an SEO audit company. What was that like? I bet there's a lot of lessons you learned.
Oh, there was. So I many years ago tried to be a digital agency website, and this was before social media was off the ground. So I'm kind of old, but that's okay. Um, and I didn't have good business practices. I just didn't understand structure, organization. I had people not paying me, and then I would do more work to try to get them to pay. And I just every mistake in the book that you could make as an entrepreneur, I made it. And finally, I went back to school, and then um, got a W-2 job and everything else. And so this new version of the SEO business, like it came from some really harsh learnings from before. So this wasn't like magically I just got it right the first go. Um, but I think what I did different was I took my experience of watching other businesses succeed and fail, and some failing from success, which that's a fun one. Um, and so when I started my business, I was like, if I have one clear product and one clear ICP, and I just hit that over and over again and really focus, I think I can do it. And there was enough because I my market differentiator was I'm not a SEO guy that's trying to do 27,000 things for you, or I really am the web developer that's wants I do SEO because I have to because I want to get the website contract. No, I was an SEO that did SEO. So then people were like, "Do you do social media?" I was like, "No, you need to go talk to a social media person." And so it was really clear what my lane was. And then because of the audit that I did, I looked at what was available on the market and what people were presenting. And, it was a lot of like bait and switch, or it was, oh, well, here's the answer, but like I'm the only one that can fix it because I've defined the terms this way. Or, it's, I don't know. There's just a lot of tactics out there to guarantee sales and money and, what all those different things. Um, and so I just decided I don't want to play any of that. So here's the data, here's the information, here's how you fix it, exactly how to fix it. And people were excited for it. And I think my overall mantra when it comes to business interactions is to try to provide more value than I'm capturing. And so as long as the balance sheet is in my favor, right, then I know I did right. And so if I give somebody and they fix their website and they generate $100,000 in new sales, and they only gave me 5,000 for all the work I did, cool. You know, there was about another $10,000 worth of work you needed to do, and you did it. So then here you go. You get the full return and the benefit of what I did. And if you decide to put it up on the shelf because your team doesn't want to do the work, okay, but I know that this could generate, at least $10,000, $20,000 worth of additional work. So I'm still not charging the full value of what I could receive for that. So that made me okay. Um, but the other part, the reason why this was successful too was it's very operationally focused. I mean, I literally have a system on like how I report things out. I have different data at different levels for who I am talking to in the organization. So if I'm talking to a CEO, they get the CEO overview to kind of know how to manage that. Directors have a little more information. Mid-level managers and the doers, I give them detailed files. So if I give you the data dump and you're a director level, you're overwhelmed. So anyway, I just created systems and processes, and by doing that, I think that set me up for like that next conversation about doing operations for people, because I've already operationalized my business and how it runs and set up systems for people. So why not do that in a more formal way?
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so on this show, I think there's I don't say this enough. Um, we like to hear like the good, bad, and the ugly. I think like of entrepreneurship. I think that's something is if more and more entrepreneurs share that authentically, I think the audience would know like, hey, this is what it takes to do this route. The entrepreneurship route is not easy, but it's not all hunky dory. It's not all like flowers here's, rainbows there's, and like you just going through this meadow and
Oh, they
everything
think
working
you get
out.
to do whatever with your time, and you
Yeah,
just, wake
freedom.
up. Yeah,
Yeah, the
exactly.
freedom. Yeah, I got freedom. I work, choose my own hours.
Yeah.
Um, So you mentioned in one of your when you fill out one of the form, you mentioned I also ran a terrible agency for many years and have failed. I have learned from those failures and helped others and myself succeed.
Yeah.
Uh, I would love to hear your thoughts more on that.
More. Oh, you're like NASCAR. You watch it just for the. You wait for that crash, and then you're like,
Yeah.
let's see it over and over again. Yeah. I don't know. It's my first piece of advice for anyone going into entrepreneurship. Don't do it.
Yes.
And then if they say, "Oh, you're probably right," then I'm like, "Okay, great. You just failed, and so you definitely should not be doing entrepreneurship." But if I say don't do it, and they say, "Hey, but I have a good idea. I know this could work," I'm like, "Great. You passed the first test, right?" Like, there's gonna be so many things coming against you to tell you why you shouldn't do it, or um, really, actually, there'll be times where you probably shouldn't do it because it doesn't. You're not the right person for this, but you can be the right person, and I think that's where entrepreneurship um, is one of those things of like it's a test of character, and it's a test of like your grit and everything that you think that you know about business ownership. It's going to be tested, and so it's up to you to step up, and you can become that person. Listen, you can learn all the different facets of your business. You can learn how to fix all that stuff, but you have to have that attitude of like being ready to learn and grow. And so I think, when I first started off doing um, creative work, creative work has inherent problems with it. It's not like you're trying to install a toilet. You know, the toilet goes in. It There's certain specifications, but there's not a lot of options, and so there's the toilet, and you're done. Check. We're talking about trying to capture somebody else's vision of what they want, but they don't have the technical expertise. And then you're trying to translate it and then build it while they're critiquing. Like, it just has all kinds of problems. And so I think I was unaware of, oh, I could build websites, I could code it. Like, yeah, sure, no problem. But then you deal with people that have opinions and thoughts, and all of a sudden, you know, if you get a chance, go check out the oatmeal. When a website design goes straight to hell. Great analogy of what it's like. So anyway, so that was just one facet of my business. Stack that with everything else and I wasn't prepared. I didn't have contracts in place. I didn't have contingencies in place. I didn't have guidelines. I didn't set good expectations, and so that's where essentially the thing is I failed, but I didn't fail like one day I was open, the next day I was closed because everything blew up and there was nothing. It was this like it's like imagine if you're trying to cook in a kitchen and every dish that you're making is burning, and it's burning on the stove, and it's burning in the oven, and it's burning in the toaster, and like, and yet you still have to keep cooking. And so that's what it was. It was just like oh, it was terrible. I should have quit earlier than I did. I should have gotten a W2 job. But I hung out for 6 years, me and my wife, my kids, and I I can't say that I wouldn't ever have done that because of that experience. I now know a lot, but um, would I wish that upon anybody? No. And is that the path for most people when they're starting? No, but is that a possibility? Yes, and I've seen worse. So
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.